The news of the day is that Adam Schiff for Brains McSchiff and who's the one that had fornication allegedly with the Chinese spy, Eric Swalwell, they might be in a little bit of trouble and they might know it. The breaking news is that a leaker who was a Democrat leaker has come out and said basically that Adam Schiff authorized unlawful leaks to the media, to intelligence, to they call it derogatory leaks, that it would damage the reputation of and politically harm Donald John Trump in 2017, that Adam Schiff specifically, personally suggested, authorized it, in as much as you can authorize something illegal, despite being confronted with the fact that it was illegal. And it just made me go down a bit of a rabbit hole to pull up the biggest, now best demonstrable lies that scumbag POS has had to say. I made a joke to the guest where I'm at now. I said, I'm going to have to swear a little bit less during this show because there's literally a Bible. I'm staring at a Bible right in front of me. And I said, I'll feel a little sacrilegious if I'm swearing in front of that. So I'm going to keep it a little bit, I'll keep it biblically friendly for today's show. So only acronyms: POS, SOB, DAMF. You can you can figure out what that one is. Okay, so the news is this. Adam Schiff authorized classified. What the hell's my problem? Adam Schiff authorizes classified intel leaks to smear Trump during Russiagate whistleblower claims. What a confusing. Authorized classified intel leaks. Now, some people are going to say, if it's classified, it means it's accurate, and therefore, what's the problem in leaking it? Not so fast, hotshot. A seasoned intelligence officer who aided Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee repeatedly alleged to the FBI that then Rep. Adam Schiff approved leaking classified information to tarnish President Trump's image during Russiagate. Shocking newly released documents reveal. Now Senator Schiff, because once upon a time he was a congressman, he's the worst person on earth. Do not get consumed by hatred, just be able to identify evil when it reveals itself. Adam Schiff, I firmly believe, is a sociopath, pathologically evil. Top Democrat of the House Intelligence Committee openly discussed plans to reveal sensitive information about the Trump-Russia collusion probe, which never happened. Not the probe, the collusion, starting soon after the 45th president. The unidentified male whistleblower alleged. I love it. We are in such times of winning. We can now identify the whistleblower's sex. He's a male, people. During an FBI interview in June 2023, the source recalled being part of an all-staff meeting called by Schiff for Brains McSchiffface. I'm not swearing, people. That's his name. At which the Democrat, quote, stated the group would leak classified information which was derogatory to the president, stated the information would be used to indict President Trump. I love the word derogatory. The whistleblower said he objected to Schiff's idea. A summary of the interview reveals, only to be told by the other participants that they would not be caught leaking the classified information. I love it. Don't worry, you're not going to get caught. This is wrong. Yeah, but we're not going to get caught. Why won't we get caught? Well, once we hamper down Trump's first presidency with 3.5 years of Russiagate collusion bullcrap, a Democrat will win. And we'll rig the system so that we never lose power again, and our evil deeds and crimes will never be revealed. Sometime later, the whistleblower said he was approached again about leaking against Trump, responded, they believe this activity to be unethical and treasonous. Not my word. The whistleblower later reached out to the FBI and was even invited to attend a mock grand jury hearing, only to later be told that the Justice Department would not investigate further. Who was in charge of the FBI in 2017? Investigators believed Schiff, now 65, was protected by the Constitution's speech or debate clause, which bars the apprehension of legislators for their professional activities except for felony, treason, breach of the peace. The whistleblower is leaking classified information not a felony? It was a felony when Trump was alleged to have done it, when he didn't actually do it, but it wasn't a felony when Hillary Clinton did it. It was a felony when, I can't think of another good example of the right being persecuted for it, but it wasn't a felony when Joe Biden did it. The whistleblower claimed during his 2023 interview that he did not believe Schiff's actions were covered by the speech and debate clause. Whistleblower's claims were first reported by Just the News, with FBI Director Kash Patel confirming on X Monday night, we found it, we declassified it, now Congress can see how classified info was leaked to shape political narratives and decide if our institutions were weaponized against the American people. But and by the way, we can see if Pam Bondi is going to do a damn thing about it. Declassified, Congress can go and do congressional committee hearings, whatever. And we'll see if Pam Bondi ever gets around to indicting Comey, Brennan. Who else? Anybody? Whistleblower who worked for the Democrat House on the House Intelligence Committee for 12 years after more than 2 decades in the Intelligence Committee was described as friends with both Schiff and Nunes, someone who worked with senior political leaders. However, an October 2017 FBI memo claimed that word was spreading among committee staff that the whistleblower had been fired for, quote, perceived lack of party loyalty. When a Republican staffer went to offer condolences, the memo relates, the whistleblower told them that they had lost their jobs because there was an expectation of leaking and he refused to participate. Who was in charge of the FBI in 2017? Let me go check that in a second. Over drinks that evening, the whistleblower claimed the Democrat on the Intelligence Committee had established a system for leaking in which sensitive information would be given to Schiff, after which a decision was made as to who would leak the information. One prominent oversharer, according to the whistleblower, was Eric Swalwell, Democrat. We're coming to Swalwell in a second. In a December 2017 interview, the whistleblower recounted how a particularly sensitive document was seen by the small group of lawmakers and staff, including Schiff and Swalwell, but leaked out almost verbatim within the day. Whistleblower allegedly claimed to have been warned to be careful because Swalwell, has a reputation for leaking classified information. And banging Chinese spies. Set that aside. But those two things, when they merge together, it's one hell of a thing that you want to have in government. Schiff spearheaded the first impeachment in 2019, had long been suspected by Republicans of leaking classified information during the Russiagate saga. He also infamously read key portions of the since debunked Steele dossier into congressional record in 2017. He's the worst person on earth. Okay, that's the news, by the way. Let me just double check one thing because it's driving me a little bit crazy why I can't find who was head of the FBI in 2017. James Comey and Christopher Wray. I'm not sure what the exact time frame was there. A legitimate criticism against Donald John Trump were some of his picks in the first term. People are going to say, well, it was Trump's FBI and they decided not to do anything because that's how bull crap. These are bull crap. Trump made notoriously bad picks in his first term, and a lot of us he's learned a lot of lessons. Nothing like, trying to be bankrupted, jailed, killed. That will teach you a lot of lessons about the deep state and the depths to which they will stoop to try to keep you out of power. But it's not because it was his FBI that it was not infected by deep state rodents, like a great many people. Bringing it to, I want to bring up the tweets from what's his face there. Now the guy who's taken to swearing because he thinks it's cool. I tweeted it out because it's amazing that he seems to think that swearing is somehow now cool. Let me play this video of Adam Schiff in 2017. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Just listen to this man lie as calmly and as confidently as he breathes, almost as reflexively as well. It's an amazing thing with your brain system. You don't have to think about your heart beating; it just beats because it's in a different part of your brain. What's it called? Oh, geez, the reflex part of your brain. Then breathing is a conscious thing, but also a reflex thing. Adam Schiff lies both deliberately and reflexively, as though it's ingrained in his horrible, horrible DNA. Listen to this.
I want to start with this new report about Russian efforts to contact Hope Hicks. What do you make of this continued effort to permeate President Trump's inner circle?
Well, without getting the specifics of that allegation, we do know that the Russians throughout the campaign were making outreach to the campaign. They continued that during the transition, including some of the people they had talked to during the campaign, and obviously even after that point. So this is part of a concerted Russian influence operation that never stopped.
That never
We've
started.
also seen a lot of what we saw during the campaign in terms of Russian social media intervention never stop. The only issue I took when James Comey testified that the Russians will be back is they've never left in terms of certain parts of their active measures campaign, but it's not at all a surprise that they would make outreach to people they thought would have influence in the administration and misrepresent who they were and what their agenda was.
Can you believe They were not still there. They were never there, and he knew it at the time. This lying SOB who claimed to have seen the smoking gun evidence of Russian collusion. He knew it was a lie. He knew it was a lie when he said it. He knew it was a lie when he disclosed information from confidential hearings, or at least lied about them, knowing that nobody could contradict it. And he knew it was a lie when he was leaking the derogatory information to manufacture the foundation to support the lies. It's crafted, deliberate, meticulous, methodical, pathological lies. The man belongs in jail.
I think the fact is the circumstances have been reversed in probably a far more significant way, and that is we now know that at the same time that James Comey was openly talking about a Hillary Clinton investigation, including up until days before the election, he was not disclosing to the public that there was also an investigation of the Trump campaign. That is far more significant than any of these text messages from my point of view. Now, I don't think that was because James Comey had a political axe to grind or was doing this in a partisan way. I do think it was an error in judgment. And I think it is perfectly appropriate for us to do oversight of how that investigation was conducted. But the intent here is not to do oversight. The intent here is nothing short of discrediting Mueller, then discrediting the Justice Department, then discrediting the FBI, then discrediting the judiciary. Should the judiciary convict some of the people that Mueller has charged or may charge in the future? This is an effort to tear at the very idea that there is an objective truth. And I think this president, in astonishing speed, has remade the Republican Party in his own deeply flawed image. And that will be ruinous to the Republican Party. But as we depend on a two-party system with two functional parties, it will also be deeply damaging to the country. The discrediting of our institutions, the justice system, the judiciary, the press, is enormously destructive.
Congressman Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee. If I don't see you before Tuesday, happy Hanukkah and happy New Year to you, sir.
And to you as well.
Just throw in the happy Hanukkah and then complain when anybody goes after these people on the basis that they're anti-Semites. Just throw that in at the end, just to rub it in the face of everybody that, yeah, you are the most pathological liars on earth. You do a great deal of damage to the people you purport to represent. And if anybody says anything about it, well, it's a response to the happy Hanukkah. Now anybody who criticizes them is an anti-Semite. Luckily, I have the ace in the hole against that accusation. That was Adam Schiff then. I just pulled up a bunch. And we're just got to watch a few of these because it's truly astonishing once you look back at all of these videos from the past and now understand just how sick in the head. This one was the best. I'm going to play it and get ready to retch. And understand the confession through projection of these pathological narcissists. That Adam Schiff, everything that he just said, right, we just heard, was true of himself, was true of what he did to the Democrat Party, what Democrats did to the Democratic Party, what Democrats did to the institutions of the media, in intelligence, the government. Listen to this idiot.
I want to begin by quoting the jury in the Manhattan hush money payment trial.
This is the man who quoted the bunk Steele dossier in congressional record. That is ratifying into record a lie that the Democrats paid for, by the way, that they then had their lawyers smuggled to the FBI, weaponizing the FBI. FBI leaks it to Yahoo News, then relies on the publication to support their unlawful spying on Carter Page, ratifying a lie. Now he's reading into the record the ratification of another absolute corrupt prosecution of Donald John Trump. He wants to read into the record the verdict out of that bullcrap, calling it the quote hush money payment case that should have never been brought to trial. That was a misdemeanor at best, a time-barred one that no one's ever been prosecuted for. That they turned into a 37 felony conviction in that corrupt hellhole of New York, so that Adam Schiff for Brains McSchiff can then ratify into the record yet again another. Won't call this one a total lie because it's there on paper. Another weaponization and abuse of the system that discredits everything about these United States of America as far as it works in a judicial system. Once people no longer have faith in the government, intelligence, media, court system, there's not much left of a republic.
I want to begin by quoting the jury in the Manhattan hush money payment trial. Guilty. guilty, 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 guilty.
I can't. You have to be crazy. You have to be a psychopath. He did it. He said guilty 37 times for 44 full seconds. Ratifying yet another lie into the record. What else did he do that's pathological? Here we go. Let's take this one right here. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's like they don't understand the internet is forever. Here, listen to this one. And you'll understand why these people were pooping bricks. I don't know, the pooping bricks as to Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi has yet to do what she needs to do. And by the way, the public nudgings that she's getting from the intelligence committee, from the intelligence community, from the FBI, from J.D. Vance, from Tulsi Gabbard, there will be accountability, Pam, and it needs to come from you. FBI finds the documents, declassifies the documents, sends them to Congress, sends them to Pam. Pam, they're on your desk.
Well, I think the president has a right to nominate anyone who's qualified, who has good judgment and good character. It doesn't mean he's guaranteed Senate approval of whoever he nominates, and some of these nominees are deeply problematic. I'll be interested in the confirmation process. Will Pam Bondi continue to tell the big lie even under oath? Is she going to
imagine this guy accusing someone else of lying?
Continue to say that the Justice Department should be prosecuting prosecutors who brought valid evidence before a grand jury. Grand jury found probable cause to believe Donald Trump committed crimes. That's not a basis to go after them. So she's going to have to answer tough questions. Tulsi Gabbard concerns me a great deal.
Yeah, she should. Oh, it's amazing. We now know of the basis, and it's not looking good. But the amazing thing, by the way, if you know the human condition, or if at least you're relatively comfortable with the human condition, Eric Swalwell was the other name that we were mentioning in all of this. And Eric Swalwell, notorious leaker, also a notorious fornicator of spies, put out a tweet, and I'll read it to you. I've already established that I can't swear during this episode, so. Swalwell put out this tweet 12 hours ago, as of the time I screenshotted it. More bull SHIT in service to Trump to try to keep me quiet. Come get me, Cash. They've got their lines. Remember in Texas now, over the gerrymandering vote, the alleged gerrymandering vote, the Democrats absconding. Come and take it. There's such a bunch of idiots. On the one hand, radical anti-Second Amendment rights activists now using the out of my cold dead hands theme song here. Come get me, Cash. Oh, I hope he takes you up on it, Swalwell. This Trump stooge long ago put me at the top of his book's enemies list. This nonsense is just more of that. I won't be silent. There's another one that he put out. The, quote, whistleblower, end quote, made this bull SHIT up when Trump was president. If they had anything, they would have indicted me. Trump would have done anything to destroy me if he could. They didn't indict me, therefore they had nothing. What's next? Oh, keep it up, Swalwell. I will not rejoice in his arrest and incarceration, but I won't shed a tear. I might crack open a bottle of something special. Swalwell swearing in his recent posts, trying to be casual and brush it off. You know, like in fighting, I won't read the tweet, but it's not an accident. Like they started swearing a lot more these days because I think they find it like blue collarish. Like they think they'll relate to the American people if they swear and act like idiots on Twitter. And it was a remarkable, like you could see the moment when they said, yeah, we're going to start swearing now. What's her face? Chuck Schumer, I think, said SHIT. Elizabeth Warren said it. That, and also, you know, like when you watch fighting, UFC, and a fighter takes a good shot, they always laugh and they're like, they pretend it didn't hurt. That's how you know it did hurt. When they start swearing because they think they're too cool for school, you know that they're starting to sweat. If they're swearing, they're sweating. And I hope that Kash Patel comes and gets Eric Swalwell and Adam Schiff. These people are criminals. They're now known criminals. And whether or not they ever get indicted, arrested, and jailed, everybody knows that they are criminals. They're in government. And if that doesn't cause you to lose faith in the system, I don't know what you think will cause someone to lose faith in the system. This was another one, another classic highlight. How long ago was this one? 2024. But this is, let me see. See, depending on how he was younger here. So this is an old one from the Russiagate. Listen to this.
You're on the Intel Committee. Let me just ask you one final question. Can you look right into the camera and say, I know for a fact the government of Vladimir Putin was behind the hacks of John Podesta's email?
Absolutely. The government of Vladimir Putin was behind the hacks of our institution and the dumping of information.
Of John Podesta's email.
Not only in
By the way, notice this is when Tucker would ask a clarifying follow-up question. Because what Adam Schiff just did there is something only a lawyer would do and something that you should pick up on. Was he behind the hack of the Podesta emails? He was behind a hack of our institution.
Putin was behind the hacks of John Podesta's email.
Absolutely. The government of Vladimir Putin was behind the hacks of our institution and the dumping of information.
Of John Podesta's email.
Not only in the United States,
email.
but also in Europe.
Okay, you're not, you know what, you're dodging.
And Tucker,
no, look and say, I know they did. John Podesta's emails, they hacked
and
those.
I think that Ronald Reagan will be rolling over his grave at you're carrying water for the Kremlin.
I'm not carrying water for the you're a sitting member of Congress on the Intel Committee, and you can't say they hacked.
You're gonna have to move your show to RT Russian television because
you know what?
This
That's
is perfect.
Just so beneath your office because it's so dumb and you're being duplicitous. I'm asking you, did they hack Podesta's emails? And you can't say it.
Personal insults like that, Tucker.
He literally just told him to go to Russia. When you have to resort to personal insults, oh my God, I hate this. I'm sorry. Hatred's not a good thing to have in your heart. It makes you make mistakes that you would otherwise never make.
You said I was carrying water for Putin. That's pretty hilarious.
You know, when you essentially are an apologist for the Kremlin, that's what you're doing.
I'm an apologist. One last time, Congressman. Look into the camera and say they hacked John Podesta's emails. We know for a fact that Putin's government did that. You can't, and you know you can't, and you're hiding behind weasel words.
I just said that
say they hacked John Podesta's emails.
Russians. I'm not going to be specific as.
Oh, because you don't know it. That's why. All right, done. One. You don't know it, and you're alleging it without any evidence, and it's wrong.
You're ignoring the evidence because you don't care. The fact that it helped the Republican candidate is all you need to know.
How he lives with himself.
That's totally false. I just think if you're going to make a serious allegation about an actual country with an actual government, you ought to know what you're talking about, and you don't.
I think that you ought to accept.
I got to go. I'm taking cash from Putin now. I'm on RT.
Republicans on the Intelligence Committee have seen for a fact.
If you could say it, you would, and you can't, and you know that.
If you're willing to be in denial about this because it suits a Republican-elect president,
we're done with this guy. It's pathological. It's pathological of the highest order. Do we have anything more? However, I want to get these clips out to memorialize them because, remember, this is a classic. This was when Adam Schiff, oh my goodness, was begging everyone not to confirm Kash Patel. I don't have much faith in Bondi anymore, and it wasn't a preconceived notion. I actually had faith and have been very disappointed by the lack of action in a number of things, not the least of which is the Epstein files. But Kash Patel had faith in, still have faith in, because they're still doing things. I can appreciate people are pissed about the Epstein files, and you think Kash Patel lied to you by telling you that Epstein killed himself, which he might very well have, but that would beg another conspiracy theory. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have been getting good, concrete results. I think people need to appreciate that it's the DOJ that prosecutes, and Kash Patel is basically saying we've given everything we can to Pam Bondi to do her job, and now it's up to her to do her job.
This is someone we cannot trust. This is someone who lacks the character to do this job, someone who lacks the integrity to do this job. We know that. Our Republican colleagues know that. The only qualification Kash Patel has to be FBI director is that when everyone else in the first Trump administration said, no, I won't do that, that crosses moral, ethical, and legal lines, Kash Patel said, sign me up.
Isn't that funny that in the context of what the whistleblower alleges Adam Schiff said, that this is what he's saying of Kash Patel? You can judge them by their accusations of others. When he said, no, I won't do it, it's unethical, Kash Patel said, I will. And when someone told Adam Schiff, no, I won't do it, it's unethical, they fired him, and Adam Schiff did it anyhow. Pathological projection.
In the first Trump administration,
we're not doing it. We've got little Andian has now become a member of our vivabarneslaw.locals.com community. Welcome to our community, little Andian. It is above average. I'm sure you'll love it. And you'll enjoy the perks, and you'll enjoy the community. There is a ton of stuff at vivabarneslaw.locals.com that is not behind a paywall. There is some stuff that is behind a paywall, and it's a wonderful community that you will not regret being a part of.